Hello all, welcome to oratrainers.com. In this session, we'll discuss about eText template in Oracle Fusion Cloud BI. We'll try to give an overview of what is eText template, what are the functionalities of it, how do we how do we design it, and also how do we test it, and how do we register it, and also what are the software required to design this particular template and the reference URL. So eText template is one of the RTF based template and which is used to generate data for the EFT and EDA purposes. And the output formats it supports are only three: CSV, text, and XML. So nothing but it's a plain, a flat text file which is generated using eText template. And here there are two purposes. One is EFT and other one is EDI. EDI is generally a delimiter based and EFT is a pixel length. So the purpose of whether to you whether who will use it, nothing but if at all this is used by a B2B purpose, we call it as EDI. If at all if you are using it for a payment transmission kind of thing, we generally call it as a EFT. So technically, the way you design a template is same. Only thing is the format will be different and the commands which we use are different. Okay. So it's an RDF based template and it supports three formats and it is used for two functionalities. One is EDI and another one is EFT. And next slide. So to design this particular functionality, Oracle has provided an RTF template in that it provides a lot number of commands using which we have to design the template. And we'll come into that particular specific thing now. How does a structure look like? How do you mention it? Which column, which position, what is the length? Everything will be mentioned in the template. So as I said, there are two kinds of templates, EFT and EDI. So using this particular eText template, we can generate two kinds of files. One is a delimiter based, other one is a fixed length. Delimiter based is nothing but each column value will be separated by a specific element, specific, like a delimiter can be comma, dollar symbol, or a specific pi symbol, whatever symbol we want to mention. And then fixed length, each particular column will be of a fixed length. So here, if you observe, this is one of the sample example of a particular eText template. And here, if you observe in the top level one, we have a command section, and then we have, a data elements or a function section. And here, if you observe, this particular place, which is a command row section, data field, column header, data rows, and all these things are there. So initially, this is a very simple, like an initial overview of a eText template. We are not getting deeper of these particular things because it has large number of commands to discuss. So today in this session, we'll try to just understand the set of commands. The first one here, if you observe, the template type. So this is a place where you mention whether what kind of output format you want to have it, whether you want to have a fixed length or whether it's a delimiter base. And then like output character set, just need to mention new record character, nothing but a new line. And here sequence will not discuss at this point of time, you can just ignore. And the next very important part is here, if you observe, this particular format data records, nothing but this particular, it's an RTF based template, nothing but it requires a data source. And we know that like a data source will be designed using a data model. So in the data model, we'll be mentioning assume that we mention a query and it generates a set of records and set of columns. Now this template has to read that particular XML or data model and it has to generate the records accordingly. So in this particular command row section, or here, if you observe the level command row section level, we mentioned from which particular level of group, from which particular group you want to read the data. In that, this is a group name, and next you mention that what is the column position you want to mention, and what is the length of that particular column you want to generate, and the format, nothing but data type, and whether you require any padding, and if you need to mention from which particular column name you want to extract the value. So that's all you mention here, level, position, length, format, padding, as well as data. Okay, so this is all about the data commands. Now, what are the steps to require to design this particular template? The first and foremost important thing is you need to prepare a query, and then you need to prepare you have to register your query in the data model. Using the data model, you can generate the sample data. Once you get the sample XML data, we can design our RTF template. Once RTF template is ready, we have to test it. We have to test it, this particular eText template, via using a jar file called template viewer, TMPL viewer, that will be available in the BI Publisher desktop template viewer folder. And if you observe here, once you open the template viewer jar file, this is a pop-up it looks like. And here you have to mention from which particular directory you want to test it. nothing but like the place where you have your XML file as well as RTF file. You need to just select that particular location and make sure that you have the XML as well as RTF files in the same location. And the left side, you have to select the data file, and right side, you have to select the RTF template. And then here, make sure that the output format, you have to select it as eText, and then you click on Start Processing. Once you click on Start Processing, it will generate the output in a text file. Okay, so this is one of the comma separated data file. And then once, like, assume that if your testing is successful, then the next step is you have to register the report, and like you can run it from the instance. Okay, so now what we do is we'll try to test all these particular steps in the instance now. Okay, so as I said, the first step is data model. So this is our query. What we do is we go to the BI publisher, and if you're opening the Fusion instance for the first time, once you log in, click on tools, and here you can click on report and analytics, and you can just click on browse catalog. So here, if you observe in the URL, it is nothing but your Fusion ERP URL followed by /analytics. The other option also we have it. What we can do is you can just simply copy the URL of your Fusion instance, and you can simply mention analytics. This is another way you can open the reports. And other one also you generally come across one more thing called XMLP server. You can mention XMLP server, and this also will work. For designing BI reports, you can design the analytical component as well as in the XMLP server component. Both are same. Okay, so I'll just close the other windows. So now I'll click on this folder called Aura Trainings. If at all, if you don't have the folder, you can create a new folder. And one more thing here, if you're navigating via analytics, it does not show the create folder option. So I suggest you that what you do is copy the instance URL, mention XMLP server, and then better you create the folder if at all, if you require a specific folder, the convention you want to follow. So now in the My folder, and you can just click on this plus symbol and you can create a folder, or wherever you want it, you can create it. Now, the next step is click on the folder and click on this plus symbol and click on data model. Now I'll copy the query. So this is a AP invoice based query, and I wanted to mention a limit as 500. There is no input criteria. So rather than getting all the record, I simply mention 500 records, max 500 records. Payable invoice, eText DM. Okay. So this is our data model name. Click on save, click on data. Okay. So click on export. Now this step will get the XML file. Get the XML file, and I prefer to store in the respective folder where I'm working on it, right? Now the next thing is data model is ready, and you can just open the data model and you can see the structure of the data model. If you observe the structure of the data model, the top level hierarchy is data underscore ds and followed by g underscore 1. In this particular sample, each record is having a group name called g underscore 1, and for each record you have a g underscore 1 opening as well as closing tag. Now, so let's open the delimiter base. Let us say, first of all, I want to design a delimiter based template. So the first thing here, if you observe, is the template type. You have to mention what is the output format you want to have it. It's a delimiter based, and then go with the standard character set, and the new written character also will go with the carriage written. And then now here, if you observe, I mentioned the level as g underscore 1. Why should I mention g underscore 1? Because in our case, the top level, each record, not top level, each record is started with a g underscore 1 tag. So I just mentioned that. Okay. It's g underscore 1, but like due to font, it is not showing that like a underscore logic. Okay. Now the next thing is Here at this place, nothing to mention. A new record is just a name. We can just mention anything here. And now followed by what we want to mention here, delimiter based. Nothing but each data I want to separate by a specific character. Okay. Now, the first thing is I want to generate the BU name of, like you can mention how many digits you want to have it. Let us say I mention 10 digits here. And then what is this BU name? BU name is an attribute in this particular XML file. And similarly, like after BU name, I want to separate by comma, then invoice ID, then comma, invoice number, comma, invoice currency code. I just want to mention 3 digits only. Line number 3 digits only. If at all, if you want to have one more space or like what you call a comma, what you do is like insert a row above, and I'll just simply copy logic like this. That's it. So it will generate one comma after invoice currency. Respectively, like a per line after line number also you can mention, description also you can mention. Now what is happening? Yeah, it's like a table structure. You're simply like reading from this group and you're mentioning what columns you want to have it, what is the size you want to have it, what is the data type, and what is the length. That's it. So template is almost ready now. Now the next thing is open the template viewer. Let us say if at all if a template viewer is not already open, go to the location where your BI publisher is installed, and in the BI publisher desktop folder in the template viewer, open the tmpl viewer.jar. Now this is a place where we have a tmpl viewer jar, and now from the location of where your data model as well as template is there, open that. Left side, select the XML file, and the right side, you select the template file. So I'll select delimiter based one, and and one more thing, very important thing is you have to select eText and click on start processing. Yep. So it generated the output file. This is how the output looks like when this really executed from the instance. Okay. And now let us see one more sample also, a similar sample, which is a fixed position. And here, if you observe, the first thing what you observe the difference is we mentioned here fixed position. That's it. And after that, reading of data is very same. And here, but if you observe this particular table, we have a little bit different format here. And in this particular here, what we mentioned, maximum length format data. And here we mentioned position length format pad data. Position, maximum length. That's the difference between a delimiter based as well as a fixed length. In the fixed position, we mentioned what is the position and what is the length from that particular position. And then we mentioned the similar one, like you have a data type and you can mention the what is the column name you want to read it. And here, if you observe in the first position of one length, I want to generate a hard-coded value called 1. And similarly, in the next position of 2 digits, I want to generate a hard-coded value called 0, 1. And then another position, I just mentioned one more thing like hard-coded value. Then I want to generate a value called BU name, and which is of only 5 digits. Here, if you observe, sorry, 9 digits. It should start at 5, and it should have maximum length of 9. That's how I want to generate. And then like at 14th position, I want to separate with a hyphen. Then 15th position, I want to generate invoice number, which is of length 9. And similarly, like we have some set of specific functions also, like a length function, character function, date functions. We have it, and here we mentioned date. And in one scenario, we want to we mention like a YYMMDD, and in another scenario, we mentioned the hours and minutes also. Okay. And finally, you have to end this one. And then how do you test it? Same thing. Open the template viewer, select the data model left side, right side, you select the template and click on output format as eText. Click on start processing. Okay. So it is not generating any data, right? So let us see what's wrong here. Yeah. So here, first thing is you like this group name we have to mention. You're reading this from this group, right? Definitely you have to mention the same group here. And now retry. And if you observe, right, when we generated, I think sometimes in some scenario, there is a chance that it may give the error also. Just try to validate whether it is giving any error or not. Okay, still it is not working. Let me select it properly first of all. Oh, I am selecting a wrong file. So the first one is the correct file. Yeah, perfect. Okay, fixed position. Let me select the fixed position. Okay, we got the fixed position also. So this is a delimiter based and this is a fixed position. So delimiter based data got separated by comma, and in the fixed position data, like each particular element, each particular column has a fixed length. Okay, so this is how we can, like these are steps involved in the report. Now, what's the next step? Let us register it. As of now, we have registered only data model. We have created, I can say, rather than create registration. Either way is fine. Now, click on create report. And here you select use report editor and then click on finish. It is asking where you want to save it. So in our case, we'll select the same folder, payable invoice, text report, save it. So this is a report registration. It is not enough. We have to upload the templates. We have two templates, right? So click on upload button. Now template file, select the template file. So first one, I'll select the delimiter based. So I'll just say delimiter. And what is the template type? It's RTF template. There is nothing, there is no template called eText here, right? You have RTF template only. Even though we are calling it as eText template, it's a file, the extension of the file is RTF. That is the reason Oracle has chosen like this. Click on upload. So we have uploaded the delimiter base. Let us upload the fixed position also. Add new layout, upload the fixed position. Generally, like in a single report, you may not have two different two different templates. Each is providing a different output. As in our training purpose, we just want to showcase how it works. That's the reason like I just registered two templates with different purposes. Okay, fixed position, RTF, English. It's not that we should not have it. Yes, we can have it, but it's just a simple requirement. So now click on a view as a list and you can select which is the default one you want to have it and what is the output you want to have it. Right. There is something wrong. We have done it. So ideally it will not provide, it will not support all these things, right? So let me delete it. This is how we can delete it. Let me click on add again. Sorry, you have to select eText template, right? So delimiter based, and that's why it was showing a different output formats. English. The file extension is RTF, but like technically we call it as eText template, and here we have to choose eText template. Okay, I just made my statement wrong. Please correct it. Click on add new layout. Make sure that you select eText. Select the fixed position, English. That's it. Now let us select the output formats. Okay, if you see here, it supports only three formats: text, data, XML. That's it. Let us click on view report. Okay, this is a delimiter based, nothing but comma separated. You can see the fixed position also, which is a fixed length data. Okay, so this is how we can register a eText template, and let's go back. And what is software required? We just require a template builder for Word, and Excel is and like say template builder is a software. When you install it, the template builder for Word and Excel is installed automatically. Okay, and you go if you want to download this particular tool, this is available from the Oracle website, from Oracle BIP website, and from your instance, from your Fusion or ERP instance, navigate respectively here. Click on this particular plus like a question mark. Click on the download Oracle Analytics Publisher Tools. Click on Oracle Analytics Publisher Desktop 64 and click on downloads, and then you select the appropriate version and download this particular exe file. Once it gets installed, and you can just click on you have to see a BI Publisher menu here. In that, if you click on about, it has to show a specific version of your ERP. In my case, it is 122140 is the version which I have installed. And if you want to refer some more information, you can just refer to the Oracle Fusion, like a eText template documentation from where which I got this information. Okay, and of course I added some of the content for easier understanding purpose. So this is a overview of eText template, but we have a lot more to discuss on the eText template. As of now, we have not concentrated on the commands which are there in the eText template. As this is initial session on the eText, we just want to see how we can design a very simple one and how we can test it. Design a simple one with a single query, but generally in the eText template you have a lot number of nesting stuff, and most of the times you get a requirement to configure the existing payment formats and adding up new tags like that. In the next coming sessions we'll be concentrating on those particular functionalities. Thank you.